Okay, it says we're live. Alright, guys, welcome to Hear Me Out, episode 11. Look at that. Fucking 11 weeks. Consumer mentality towards pricing on gaming. Didn't really fit that all in the title, but that's what it says here. So, mainly that will be the topic. We'll probably have other side topics after we talk about this particular one. And it's myself and T-Riz today. We don't have any special guests like Shin Raven as we had for the previous week or Alex Lexus for the side portion of this. So without any further delay, T-Riz, let's hear you out.
Alright, hello everyone. This is Hear Me Out, episode 11. I'd like to remind you all this is brought to you by Fullscreen. If you need a partner, go look to them. And today's footage is provided by none other than Mugen Kitsuki himself. So, if you look at this footage and you're impressed and want to see more of it, go check out his stream. And do you plan to do a stream today?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, without further ado, let's get started on this episode, shall we? All right. So, Nelson, hear me out. Uh, for some games,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of the classic games that get retouched or remastered or have a particular sequel. What is it going to take for the price of the game to be warranted? We have Bomberman R recently, for instance.
Okay.
That's a $50 game. It has probably just as many puzzles that the usual Bomberman has. It has a bunch of maps. It has multiple playable characters. It has multiple character customizations, unlockable customizations, and a full-fledged story mode that's single-player or cooperative based. And I believe it has online.
Mm-hmm.
And I just looked around recently today before doing the show, and I saw a lot of people saying that it's not worth the $50. I would love to get this game. It looks fantastic, but I don't want to pay $50 for it.
Well, I'll say this much. I haven't really played Bomberman. Dropping frames. Why am I dropping frames?
I don't know.
I wouldn't worry about it too much. But I really haven't really played Bomberman that much in my life. Like, I played a little bit of it for the Super Nintendo. I played a little bit for like the Game Boy and stuff like that. And I heard that it's more popular on the Sega Saturn in certain cases. But
I think that had to do with the Sega Saturn's adapter.
possibly, yeah, it's a possibility. But as of pricing it to $50 for a game that has already been done, and they're just re-releasing the game with more possibility of characters, the ability to play together online, more characters, and stuff like that. I think it deserves. Okay. Stop warning me about frame dropping. I can't do anything about that. I just don't see the reason why it shouldn't get like a $50 price tag. I think that's well more than enough. At least it's not like the traditional 65-30 with tax for certain games that are out now. But in a sense, you guys also have to understand that the company, as of Nintendo, is trying to market themselves with a game for discounted prices, as they always have been ever since they started with the I think the Nintendo GameCube or the Wii, where they sold it for like maybe $10-20 cheaper than the standard PlayStation and Microsoft product. That's one reason why. Another reason why is the fact, like, okay, you have your nostalgia. It's an old classic game. Why should I be shelving out like $50 for it? Because one, you're paying for the name of the fucking franchise, and the other reason why is because that Nintendo likes to make their price points like that. It's in a matter of content. Yes, I would say fuck it. Let me pay like $20. because it looks like a mobile game to me. But then on the other hand, to other people, you're playing on co-op, you're playing on Nintendo's network when it does get its online functionality. You're
Hmm.
getting more characters than usual. You're getting more stages. It's a replayable game. You're gonna get that price value at that $50. So me, I would not mind it because I understand like the beneficial of the business side of it of the pricing, and I also understand the nostalgia reasoning behind like diehard fans.
I think like for me personally, the $50 is warranted
Mm-hmm.
with doing all that stuff, and it's not like it is a remake of an older like version of Bomberman. It's an entire new one.
Mm-hmm.
That alone makes it like okay, I understand. Like
Mm-hmm.
we had DuckTales recently, and that's a fantastic version of DuckTales. It had all the levels. It had all the music remixed. It had HD graphics, and
Mm-hmm.
it had voice added. And that was what $30, I believe.
Possibly.
And that because it was a remaster of an older title of like that length, sure, I would pay that much for it.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like this is a new game where it's entirely like from the ground up, made from scratch, and everything about it is new to some degree, minus like older power ups returning, and
Mm-hmm.
like older design for characters or be like the standard Bomberman design. Uh, I don't see why people complain so much. Maybe it's the fact that they just paid for a new console because this is a Nintendo exclusive so far. I don't know if
Mm-hmm.
it'll eventually make its way to the consoles or Steam,
Right.
but that's the only place you can get it, and maybe that's a thing. But then again, on the other side, there are other games that you can get that are multi-platform, and for some reason are more expensive on the Switch than they are on the other consoles, and most people are pointing out to the cartridges for that reason,
Right.
because the cartridges are a bit expensive to manufacture, and some of these companies they are opted to try to make the game physical instead of just making it download only for the Switch at the
Yeah.
same price.
Right.
So I believe the game I'm really pointing to right now is Rhyme.
Mm.
That's that's $30 or $20 anywhere else, and on Switch it's 40.
Hmm. As I was saying before, it might be due to the fact that it's licensed by Nintendo and they're just using it because it's like a household name that they're forking up the price, or they possibly, which I really don't know, they probably are adding more content. They probably made some accessible changes within that version compared to the other ones. I don't know if it's like a direct port, but it could be that possibility. Because
For Rhyme.
mm-hmm.
Uh I've been looking a little bit into it. It seems like it's just a direct port. It doesn't have any like amiibo functionality or Nintendo exclusive content in it.
Mm, so
They
that's
they just
yeah.
they're just warranted towards well, it's a new console, it's Nintendo, and they're making things difficult.
Yeah, I would have to say like Nintendo has been very iffy about its pricing and the way how they handle things with gaming in general. But that's Nintendo for you. They went under a new policy change a few years back, and it kind of left fans uneasy, except for the diehard fans, of course.
Right. Like a lot of things towards how the online infrastructure works, and as well as the YouTube policy changes,
Oh yeah.
and just a ton of other stuff. Like they were quick to take out certain features of the 3DS, the swap note thing, because
Mm-hmm.
people were using it for undesirable means, as well as I can't remember. I think there was something on the Wii U too that they also took out because people was being people.
Possibly, yeah.
So with that, I want to hear what everyone like thinks when this gets up on YouTube because we don't have anybody watching at the moment.
Mm-mm. Not right now.
I want to know. Oh, we have one person. Own underscore Diablo
What's up, man? You fucking lurker.
5678.
Yeah, he's a
Gosh,
lurker.
man, Roman numerals. Uh,
Yeah,
yeah, I think I got that right.
he's a good friend of mine.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, good to know. Welcome to the street.
Mm. He hasn't been on in some time, but he's a very good fighting game player. I
Really?
met him. Yeah, I met him during the Street Fighter Cross Tekken era. It was pretty cool.
Okay. So, maybe you can help us on the next topic that's going to be coming up.
Yeah, if he's not too shy, we'll see how that works out for him. But yeah, let's hear about this next topic.
Okay. Moving on to the next topic. I want to ask you, when does a pop-off go too far in a fighting game? Because when I saw the pop-off for K-Brand vs. Wolfcrone,
Mm-hmm.
that gave me some kind of arcade flashbacks of
Mm.
some people where some things went down that weren't so great.
Right, right.
I think
Mm,
let me finish a sec.
mhm.
I think if it wasn't for the fact of like who these people are and what's been going on in the background, this could have took a wrong turn. This could have been something where a lot of the community could have frowned upon, like you're going too far. But because of every all the circumstances aligned up towards this,
Mhm.
a lot of people think people are thinking now that it might be justified.
Mhm.
So we had a good conversation about this yesterday. If anything, I wish I kind of recorded that for the segment, but hindsight. What do you think about that?
Well, here's a thing. Let me explain what a pop off is to people who are brand new to the channel or brand new to this particular segment or just in general on the internet. Pop off is basically when you are feeling yourself, whether if it's in a game, whether if it's sports related, whether if it's
Grandstanding.
yeah, more or less. You're showing off that you was either correct or you was proving yourself in some kind of scenario, and you're just feeling yourself to the point where you're like your ego is through the fucking roof, and you're making the other person feel like utter and complete waste of shit. So now, was it relevant for K Brad to have done what he had done to Wolf Chrome at Final Round 20 when they was playing their set in Street Fighter 5? I say yes. Reason why is because you don't come disrespecting another man and then expect nothing to be brought back to you in return. Wolf Chrome had started this whole pop off thing with K Brad at a previous tournament. He has beaten him. He could have easily just walked off like he normally does and kept to himself. Instead, he decided to make an example out of K Brad and pop off to him saying that he ain't no good, to get off. I dusted you off my shoulders. You ain't crap in this game. Then he escalated the issue and started talking about other people like Justin Wong, like Ricky Ortiz, like Puerto Rican Balrog, like F Champ, Marn, and so on and so forth. And next thing you know, out of nowhere in Final Round 20, K Brad gets a victory on Wolf Chrome. He stands up, he stands right directly in his face, disrespecting his personal space. He takes off his Wolf Chrome's headphones, and just sits there and says, "Come on, say something. I want to hear it. I want to hear your excuse." And then the next thing you know, Wolf Chrome just started clapping his hands, he started shaking his head, and then he tried to give K-Brad a handshake. K-Brad said, fuck it, I'll take it. And then he walked off and he's like, fuck yeah, you ain't shit. So, but here's the downside to it. You don't know who's going to be there. You don't know who you're saying this to. Someone could take this into wrong offense and someone might get hurt. I've been through many scenarios where I myself has popped off on people in arcades. I have popped off on people online. I have popped off people at tournaments. Nothing has happened to me because that's just me. Towards other people, people have gotten stabbed. People has gotten killed. People has gotten physically beat up and jumped by other people. Things can happen depending on who you're messing with and who takes it the wrong way. If you're among friends, that's fine. If you're among people you know in the community, that's fine. You're a newcomer, you don't know what's going on, someone directly comes up in your face and disrespects you, your first reaction is, alright, I'm gonna punch you in the face.
Yeah. Again, I've been witness to that's a thing going on. Like people getting stabbed, people getting shanked, people getting robbed after like they leave, and I think okay, these two got beef. These two got beef for weeks. It's fine when they do it. I don't encourage people to make this a thing.
Yeah, that's
that's the point I'm going with this. Don't go this far. Grandstand all you want. When it comes to personal space, that is a totally different thing. I've seen people, get up and like grandstand to the crowd, or start yelling at the person from a distance, like Filipino Champ did a couple of times.
Right.
That's fine. Just don't get in someone's face, because the moment you do that, depending on the person, there's going to be problems. For me, that's been my thing. Say anything you want about me, as long as it's about me. Say anything you want to the crowd about me, that's fine. Just don't get in my face, and we'll be good at the end of the day. It's a video game. Let's move on. That's it.
Yeah.
And I fear that it's going to just escalate from there, and not even with K-Brand and Wolfcrone. I mean, like other players that are like maybe stream monsters watching this, and they eventually join the FGC like proper, or online, where people are just going to go even further, or just more FGC players that are already well known, and just continue with this. The worst that I've seen before this was probably what is it? Viscount and Lotia God.
Oh yeah, that was pretty bad.
Yeah, and I'm not even going to count Filipino Champ and the other player that he was playing at one time, because that's just Champ being him, and he knows where the line is drawn, and he could say anything he wanted about the guy, as long as he didn't get the guy's face.
Yeah, there's a certain amount of restraint on certain people, and I will address this now to, again, some people who may not be fond of the FGC. There are certain players out there that do it for fun. They don't do it to be super fucking serious. They don't do it to be a scumbag or whatever the word that you want to use for these people. They just do it for the fun of the game, to create a hype factor for whatever tournament or whatever particular game that they are currently playing in. F-Champ has said this off camera, on record, that he's just doing it for fun. Think of it as WWE, as him being a heel. He's just doing it for show. He's not really being super serious about it. He's a pretty chill dude. When I met him in person at a few tournaments a while back ago. He's pretty chill, but he's doing it just for the fun of it. Some people do take it seriously because you don't know this guy in person. You don't know what goes on behind the scenes, so people can instantly assume the wrong. Like how I'll bring up something right now, like the time when Alex Lexus didn't know who the hell Low Tier God was at first. He got introduced to Low Tier God when he saw the Viscount and Low Tier God promo video thing when they was fighting in Street Fighter 4. He took it very seriously, and he got offended to the point where when he saw the most recent attack on Broly Legs, with Low Tier God talking about like, oh, he don't give a fuck that he's disabled or that he's fat or blah blah blah. He's stupid, picking a dumb, brainless character. Like he took offense to that because he's like, yo, you're mad fucking shallow. You don't know how to pick a fight with like the right person. Excuse me, and you're attacking someone who can't physically defend themselves. You know, and he took it to offense. But again, that's for someone who doesn't know about what goes on behind the scenes in the FGC. Compared to me, I breathed the FGC for almost half of my life. And I recently just retired a few years back. And I don't want to ever go back to it again. Because one, it killed my personal time with family, friends. It ruined my time in getting into a relationship at one point in my life. And a little bit more personal stuff. But I will never go back to it. It's too stressful. But there's just certain things you don't want to know that we should keep in the dark, and there's just things that need to come to light and needs to be respected. So.
Yeah. Well, for me, I pretty much would be considered a stream monster. Sure, I played in the arcades, I played people, but these sort of players, these high level players, I have never played before aside from sometimes online. So that's a totally different experience when in comparison to actually sitting down next to the guy or face to face, depending on like the setup, and playing him literally right there. There are certain things that now is considered online etiquette that you don't do when you're physically there with the person. And when it comes to certain things like that's like that probably stuff you should do on the first time you meet them. You get to know the person, you play them a couple of times, at different venues. Not just that specific place or that specific day, but different times, different places. And then if you want to get to that point, well, that's on you. If you're not such a good player, that's your funeral. And as far as the pop-offs go, well, look, we already went through to this in several other hear me outs. You could just go and listen to them, like I don't know, probably episode like 3 or like 5. But it goes back to the whole esports thing. If they want to move forward with this, there's gonna have to be some changes, and pop-offs might have to be regulated. Because even in other like physical sports, there is a fine line of what you do and what you're going to get flagged for. And well, Capcom so far hasn't had any problem with this, so it might continue this way. So for them, by all means, I'm not going to be that quick until Capcom decides for themselves this is going too far, or yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, but so far from what I've been seeing, because I've been watching almost every major or local FGC tournament, because I'm still in it, but not physically participating as a player no more. I'm more of what T-Risk is, which is the stream monster. That's what I've been doing ever since my retirement, but I still keep up with the info because it still intrigues me of how ignorant people are to a certain degree. But pop-offs are not everyday things. They're not at every single local. They're not at every single major. So Capcom really doesn't know when it's gonna happen because it's sporadic. It's spontaneous on the fly type thing. So for like one pop off like every now and then, as long as it's not a physical confrontation and like no one's cursing or whatever, I think it's allowed to a certain degree because it shows in their eyes the passion in the player.
Mm-hmm.
But as of like, if you would have took it to a direction like maybe let's say Noel Brown and Smooth Viper about the incident during Marvel during Eight on the Break a few years back, then that might not go so well in your favor.
Yeah, you're gonna get a fine. You're gonna get a flag for that. You're not going to be able to come to any of the CPT.
Yeah,
that sort of thing. Shout out to Skin Trader underscore PL. Is he new, Nelson? Or
it
is he
sounds
been around?
like it. Sounds like I don't think I've ever heard of that name before. To be honest with you.
All right. Uh, okay, so I think that's everything you have to say on the topic, right?
As far as I can no, yeah, that's pretty much it. Just be mindful of who you speak things to and come correct until you know all your facts and information about a particular person or a scene that you think you may know when you really don't.
Yeah, yeah, I'll agree to that. So, with that, we're going to come to our last topic.
Okay.
Yeah, it's about many topics today. I'm trying to change it up a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the last topic we have is on crossplay, and I was going to make this its own particular topic. I think we might have, but it's come back to light again because of well, you know, it's more fighting game stuff. Tekken 7 isn't going to have any sort of crossplay whatsoever. It's coming out on Xbox One, Steam, and PlayStation 4. And Harada has pretty much explained that it really can't be done, nor will it be done for PC to like a specific console because I don't know, maybe he thinks it's not fair to the other console, and it's not like he can make the PC version able to crossplay between both. Not going to make a specific PlayStation 4 compatible crossplay and a Xbox One compatible crossplay version.
Right.
So we seem to be at an impasse because of games sometimes just not allowing for crossplay. But I can't quite remember. Is Rocket League able to crossplay between all three platforms?
Due to my understanding, it should. That's what it was marketed to do. Or, excuse me. At first, it wasn't crossplay in the very beginning, and then just as of recently, they were trying to crossplay all three major gaming consoles into one. And I think it's probably a little bit successful. I haven't really played the game, so I really couldn't speak on it too much. But that was one of the first games that they had made mention that they wanted to do crossplay with. There's been other games in the past that people may not remember that were crossplay compatible with like the Dreamcast and the PC at one point. I can't remember the name of the game, but it has been done before. But as of like relevant of like this time, this generation, that's so far that and somewhat of a crossover between Street Fighter V. It's not fully a crossplay thing because they're only doing it from PS4 to PC. The game is not out for Xbox, so it's not really a multi, crossplay kind of game.
Okay, so I just looked at a small video, and yes, Rocket League can crossplay from Xbox to PC and PS4 to PC.
Mm-hmm.
but obviously PS4 to Xbox can't.
Okay, so it's not doing it on the console base, so they're using the PC as the middleman.
Right.
Okay.
So whatever game that like PC's in that has an Xbox player or a PS4 player, one side is going to be left out.
Wow.
And it seems like, okay, Harada could have done that, but chose not to. I've maybe not to make one side be more superior than the other.
Mm-hmm.
Because if that's the case, we would get another like PC Master Race thing going on here.
Right, right. That would be the case. But Harada's decision, it's fine with me because at the end of the day, people are still going to get it for their specific consoles that they own or preference in that sense. Like, some people prefer Xbox, some people prefer PC, some people prefer PS4. I will say this much. Go with the choice that you favor for if you're a casual. If you decide, hey, I want to play on the PS4 just because that's the only console you got, then go for it. If you're a little bit more hardcore into the community of Tekken, I would recommend you get it for the PlayStation 4 because that's where the scene is. The scene is not on Xbox, the scene is not on PC. That's just how it is. Because we had a little discussion yesterday about Guilty Gear Revelator, how Mr. Alex Lexus has it on PC, and then he came out and said, "Oh, I wish more people would play this game. It seems like not many people is online with the game." And I plain out just said, "You're on the wrong console. If you want to play with more people, you have to get on the PlayStation 4. That's where the community base is at. It's not on PC."
Mm-hmm.
So,
It's simple, really. It's a Japanese game that is primarily played by Japanese players, if I'm not mistaken.
Japanese people and also Mexico plays heavily into that as well.
Right. And that seems to be the case for Arc System Works games in general.
Mm-hmm.
Like I played the original Blaze Blue on Xbox, and yeah, it probably played better on the Xbox than it did on the PlayStation 3 at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't get many players after a month, a month later, and then I played on a friend's PlayStation 3 and was getting players for about 4 months, maybe 5 months into the game's life, and that's just how it is. Like, to some games, it's going to be that way. Street Fighter is obviously that because well, there's only one platform now. Um, Blaze Blue and Guilty Gear are also going to be better on PlayStation because of that reason. Tekken started its life on PlayStation, so that's going to be the go-to.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
And for I believe a game like Dead or Alive, its initial life on for was it 5 now?
Mm-hmm.
It started out as a good middleman between the Xbox and the PlayStation, but once it became final round, it was just PlayStation.
Yeah.
That's just the place to go to play. Like, people think that game is dead. That game is not dead. If it was dead, they would be making costumes like that all the time.
Yeah, that's like
That game would have just moved on by now.
yeah, that's one of the few games that I know right now that has done nothing but collaborations with company after company for several years now. And it's still going strong. Again, it's a niche game for people who are who are into Capcom games. And what I mean by that is that you guys are only sitting there playing the Marvels and the Street Fighters, and that's it. You're not playing the other fighters like Virtual Fighter, Tekken, Dead or Alive, anime fighters in general like Blaze Blue, Guilty Gear, Unil, so on and so forth. There's a lot of more variety out there, but people limit themselves, and when that happens, it kind of pushes games aside.
Alright. I would like to remind people that Under Night in Birth is actually free on PlayStation this month.
Yeah, on
So
PS3.
if you have a PlayStation 3 and you got PlayStation Plus, you should do that because it's a fantastic game. I downloaded it, I still haven't had the chance to play it, but from the stream that we did a couple of weeks back, it looks like just a generally fun game.
And it has everything that you need within a fighting game when it comes to replays, when it comes to network battles. You can get different costume, like not costumes, but like color edit swaps when you buy them with points. You get to make your own username lobby, so it's like specific. You can say like Twitch stream lobby or tournament lobby, yada yada yada. And the connection is like pretty fucking decent to the game that it's like as it is today. So whether if you get it on PC, whether if you get it on the PS3, it's a good game to play as an anime fighter, and I will give it a thumbs up.
I would say the netcode is probably good, especially for the fact that it's one of the much smaller companies that puts out fighting games.
Mm-hmm.
So keep that in mind, because this isn't like a Capcom or a what is it, Namco
Yeah,
Mexican?
yeah.
Yeah, it's not one of those. It's French bread, which is on like the same level, if not maybe smaller than Arc System Works.
Yeah, they collaborate with Arc System Works to help direct publish their games now. So any French bread game that you run into, like Multi Blood for an example, Arc System Works handles the publishing process for it, so it could get released in the U.S.
Okay. So for a game that small, to have a decent online connection is an impressive feat of its own.
Yeah, definitely is.
And I'm sure I have the same mentality of most people, whereas I would love to buy these games. I would love to play these games, but either A, I don't have the time, or B, I don't have the money, or C, I don't want to buy it, and then everybody is still playing the Tekken and the Street Fighter, and now the online is dead.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's the mentality towards Guilty Gear and Blaze Blue and Dead or Alive and Kings of Fighters. And honestly, those games aren't really dead as much as some people would like to believe. They just don't have as many players playing at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Try different time periods, especially like if you want if you want to go out of your way to like take the risk to play Japanese players and European players, just change the time that you play, and you would see that there are players still playing this game. I've ran into people in Dead or Alive around 12 a.m. I've ran into people around 12 p.m. I ran into people around 5 p.m. 7 p.m. is just the time of day that you look forward to, be it like when children come out of school or when people come out of work, and as well as like the time when people come out of work during the graveyard shift. It's just you just have to like look and find the player base, where the player base is, what time the player base is, and because of the kind of world that we live in now, just find the Discord server. These games have official Discord servers you can go to so that you can play players at like different times of the day that's like actual um, times for youth should be playing, and not something that you gotta go out your way to like now I gotta stay up at this time, now I gotta make time for this hour. Just go to the Discord server if you can find it and play with those players. Sure, it's not ranked, but at this point when the game is that old, you still care about rank that much?
Yeah, a lot of people still care about points these days, which is kind of meaningless in a sense. The way how I see how ranked is just to show how much time you have on your hands. That's all it is. Yeah, you may become a great player in the midst of it, but it just shows how much time you like to waste on a particular game to get your score
Well,
up there.
well, it's fortunate that Dead or Alive actually keeps how much time you play in your profile.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one particular game. KOF, people still play KOF. I don't know if it's just like people don't play the ranked mode, because that's what it seems to be for a lot of dead games. People don't play ranked. They go to play a match where like you can actually see the lobbies and whatnot, so that people actually know people are playing. And from the times that I just turned on KOF and just made a lobby, I
Mm-hmm.
have gotten entire full lobbies eventually. It may not be, instant 5 minutes at most, but if people see people play, they will eventually gravitate towards the lobby.
Right.
And that's the thing that's like I had to start doing, because I would just go to the lobby page and like try to refresh and think nobody's playing. But everybody's doing the exact same thing. Nobody wants to make a lobby.
Waiting for that first initial lobby to be made.
Yeah, and for some people, it's like, well, I want to play someone that's good. Wait long enough, and I assure you, somebody that's good will show up.
Perfect
That's
example of this is Fightcade.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Fightcade,
Perfect
the most
example.
the most dead games. If you just stay there in the lobby, there will be someone that shows up.
Because what Fightcade is, for people who don't know, is an emulated system that uses like Mame or Mame, however you want to pronounce it. Uses the same coding as that, but it fixes the net code, which is called GGPO, which allows it to be based on ping instead of connectivity range. And it basically tells you like how far the person is, are you able to play them, so on and so forth. And they have a lot of old school relics on there. Like we're talking about like Super Turbo. We're talking about X Men: Children of the Atom, X Men vs Street Fighter, Marvel superheroes, Kings of Fighters '94, Real Bout, you know, Fatal Fury games. There's so many old school games that people
All these
still
good
play.
goodies.
People still play to this day. Like if you go on Fightcade right now, I guarantee you, Street Fighter Third Strike, Kings of Fighters, I believe '98 and 2002, Samurai Showdown 2, Street Fighter Alpha 3, and probably one other game. I think like Super Turbo has at least 100 to 200 people in its lobby currently playing right now, leveling up for tournaments that people still have either locally or online using Fightcade.
Darkstalkers as well.
Yep, Darkstalkers, yo, so many games. Like people
Yeah,
still play
I
the old school.
when you helped me set it up,
Mm-hmm.
I was playing with a friend like a few weeks later in Cyberbots,
Mm-hmm.
and all of a sudden now there's 50 people wanting to play,
Yeah, you'd be
and
surprised.
and I had absolutely no idea. We just showed up and there was like one other person, and
Mm.
we started playing, and then all of a sudden now it's a 50-person lobby that's in there, all playing the same game or waiting for a specific match to set up.
Right.
So if you want to play like an older game, that's the place to go. Basically, if of course, they don't remaster it or they don't bring it out on Steam or another console, because I, as much as I like Fightcade, I do want to promote is not the word I'm thinking of, but I do want to play those games on the consoles. And I do want the companies to know that I enjoy this game. So I do try to buy those other games to actually play them on my consoles for that very reason.
Right. Well, definitely, this is a whole difference between how the console ports are and so how arcade ports are, because that's what Fightcade uses. It uses the actual physical ROM from what they use in the arcade. If you guys ever know what a CPS 1, 2, 3 Naomi boards are, when people could put them on like a super gun or arcade board, that's technically what this is. And all it does is it emulates it within an emulator, which is a small confined space, and it's very well worth it. The creators have been talking about porting this service to a console to some degree, but then again, if they do it to a console, it comes to licensing issues, and that's something they don't want to face. So for now, PC is like the best place to get this stuff done.
Yeah. If you if you think Third Strike is dead on the consoles, try this instead, and just get your controller or your fight stick, hook up to your PC or your Mac, because it even works on that as well, and just play. Like, there's a Linux version too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, there is.
All right. So, any closing remarks to any of the topics that we spoke about?
Not really. Just make sure that for the first topic we spoke about, base it on what you think is right for the price. If you feel that the content is well insured for your purchase of spending a certain amount of money of however it's endorsed, whether if it's a $50 game, $40 game, $20 game, we'll leave it up to you. Just make a smart decision. Do all your research, do all your facts, see if it's worth your purchase. As for the second topic, be weary of who you're talking to and be mindful, because if you're talking to a person you don't know, the person may have a history where they're like a third degree black belt and they can kill you. So you just be pretty mindful of what you say to others. And for this one,
It's a good topic.
The crossplay thing, I would endorse it a little bit more. It's just that right now the companies are not on the same page. So hopefully in the future we can get it expandable so everyone can play within the same network, so it doesn't cause any hostility. Even though there will be people out there that will still favor their console because that's just how they are for whatever specific reason. And just to add onto it, I will apologize for any degradation in quality of this stream. Normally, every time when I stream Hear Me Out or any other stream that I normally do, it's in top-notch quality. As of today, for some odd reason, I don't know if it's Twitch, I don't know if it's my internet, I have zero idea, but we're having a huge amount of frame drops right now. And I do not know what's causing it. So I will be doing maintenance to see if it's something on Twitch's end, something on my end, something on XSplit's end, or OBS's end. We'll look into it, but as of today, this is the first time this has ever happened. But we'll make sure that this does not occur again.
Yeah. If you actually look on Nelson's stream, that video of Neo actually doesn't look like that. It's very smooth.
Yeah, this is just something that I can't switch on the fly because the streaming program that I'm using currently doesn't allow me to change it to source. It's stuck on medium right now. I don't know why. But mind you, this is the first time this has ever happened. So again, it will still be viewable. It's just that something is going on with the transcoding and it's a little iffy. But again, you will get what's happening. You'll still see it in good clarity when it gets uploaded to YouTube because it'll buffer out. But until then, that's all I got. Unless if you have any closing remarks.
I do. For the first topic, which was about mentality towards pricing, yeah, I agree with you. Just do your research and think about what you want to spend. If you feel it warrants the price, go for it. But I would also say just don't do the herd mentality. Oh well, this game is worth the $60 price. Well, this game it isn't worth the $60 price. Just just do your research, look at what it offers, and decide for yourself if what it offers is enough for you.
Mm-hmm.
As for topic two, um, again, I agree with you about you don't know this person's backstory. You don't know where they've been from. You don't know what sort of mentality this person has. So watch what you do, watch what you say, and watch how you say it. Um, and for the third topic, I'm going to say for anybody that thinks that it's Harada's fault, don't. When it comes to like the crossplay thing, bring it up to PlayStation. I would say in particular about this, they're still the ones that are iffy about it. Because
Mm-hmm.
Xbox and Phil Spencer have said it can be done. We want it to be done. All it is, it's all in Sony's court. So if you want crossplay for these games, because Rocket League has shown that all it is a flip of the switch to get these games going on crossplay, because that's a game that came out without crossplay, and with one simple patch, I think, or a hotfix, now there's crossplay in the game. It's not the most ideal crossplay. What we want is parity towards all platforms, and I would even include Nintendo on this. If you want crossplay, you have to bring it up to Sony and Nintendo to get them on the ball with this.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to leave it as that. So this has been Hear Me Out episode 11. Nelson, thank you for hearing me out. Who we have in the chat here? Own underscore Diablo 8, Shin Raven, and Skin Trader underscore PL. Thank you for hearing us out. I hope you three enjoyed the show. And anybody that sees this on YouTube. And speaking of YouTube and any other social media, you see it there in the stream itself. If you want to subscribe or follow us on any of these social media accounts. Oh, great! I had it perfect. Just this one, this one. Hear me out without that phone ringing. Why?
Yeah,
I'm so close too.
it happens. I mean, again, we do have lives behind this guy, so if you hear any background noise with his family, friends, phone calls, vibrations, it's normal. We're human, all right? And we can't control what the fuck goes on.
Yeah, yeah. It's office space I'm working with here. There will be a phone.
Mm-hmm.
So, with that, this has been episode 11. Thank you, everyone, the social media, and I'd like to remind everyone that this is Nelson's personal Neo stream video that we're working with here. If you want to continue watching that, please go to his channel. Nelson, do you want to cut a promo for your channel?
Yeah, for my Twitch channel, just go to what you see on the stream here. So it'll be twitch.tv/Mugen underscore Ketsuki. I know a lot of people complain about it, but the underscore is to use it as a space because some programs and apps don't just allow me to put spaces. So, but yeah, I'll be continuing the Neo stream most likely today as well. But I do other things there, whether if it's retro gaming or PC related stuff and so on and so forth. But yeah.
Alright. And I'd like to also promote Full Screen again for helping us out with the channel and just with our lives here. So without further ado, this is T-Rex signing off.
Alright, and thank you guys again for watching, and tune in next week, same time, same place, which is normally on Wednesdays. If we do it a day later or a day before, we'll let you guys know.